Hey, what's up? This is Chosen. Hope you are having a great day. And while I'm running the clan boss here for a couple keys today, I wanted to pull up the guaranteed summoning events graphic that I worked on, which, by the way, I will link to this down below. And I'll also have it on the website very soon if you would like to keep the up-to-date version for your records. But what I wanted to do was go back and talk about these and talk about the ones that I did, the ones that I didn't do, and the regrets or the decisions that I'm happy with hindsight, looking back on all of these guaranteed summon events. So let's get into it. Alrighty, so first of all, the guaranteed summon events have not always been a thing. Plarium, back in the day, shards were mostly always just normal. You just pull them. Then they started doing 2x events. Then they started doing 10x boosted events for certain champions. And then eventually they started doing guaranteed summon events, which they kicked off in March of 2021, about a year and a half ago. And their first one they ever did was Countess Licks for 150 ancient shards. And as I talk about these, keep in mind it is for my personal account. It is not necessarily a reflection on the entire player base and if they should regret or not regret pulling for their pulling for a certain champion, because everybody's account is different. So for Countess Licks, Countess Licks is fine on paper, is a pretty solid champion, can be used to 3-star content in Faction Wars, can be great in some of those slower compositions for the Doom Tower and stuff. I would say, you know, if I'm hard on myself and I make myself pick, I kind of regret. I don't really end up using Countess Licks a whole lot. Then for Helior, this was the first introduction to an event for Sacred Shards. I don't use him near as often as I thought I would. It just didn't end up happening. I did go for it, but I was so excited thinking that Helior was going to be some amazing tag team arena champion for me, and he just never ended up seeing the light of day. Now Ursula is really good, a very solid progression champion that does some really fun things. I don't think I went for her, so this would be a neutral. I didn't pull for that event. The same with Geo. I did not pull for him, but I'm gonna star this because that was definitely a really good event. The Geomancer one, he's one of the best champions in the game, so giving him to accounts out there as a bonus for pulling 40 ancients, that's a good event, even though I didn't do it. Then Lady Kimmy, I did go for this and I am happy about it. So that would be the first one for me personally that I went for, and I have no regrets because Lady Kimmy is incredible. She's one of the best champions in the game for Hydra, and she can really be used anywhere and do at least decent. So one of the better champions in the Shadowkin faction as well. So it was great to pull for that event when we were trying to put together our Shadowkin teams back when Shadowkin was just kind of launching and was new to the game. Then these next two for Cold Art and Madame Ceres, I'm going to star these as well because I think they're pretty solid events, even though I did not go for them. So it's not necessarily an X for regret or anything. You know, getting Cold Art for 7 shards is fair to guarantee yourself one, and then 30 for Ceres might be a little expensive because she's been power crept a little bit in the last year or two, but both those events I would give a thumbs up as a nod to the player base in general if I had to pick. Then for Vizier, I don't regret it, but I didn't go for him. I believe that event is about a year and a half too late. There's just a lot of options out there now. Vizier, when he got released, was incredible. I used him for a very long time. I was very excited when I pulled him, but that's one I didn't pull for, so I don't have to regret or anything. Genzin, I did pull. I kind of regret if I had to pick. He's not terrible. It's just for my account personally, I ended up not really getting a whole lot of use out of him, but I was excited to get some Shadowkin champions back then, and he was 120 instead of 150, so it's not like it was a terrible event. It's just one that in hindsight I didn't end up getting as much value as I thought I would, which is exactly the same for Gamaran, the next champion here. He's got a really weird kit, and I wanted to pull for him and end up testing him on my account, and it ended up being one of those Helior situations where I thought he was going to be cool, I thought he was going to be a champion I use a lot, and he just never ended up seeing the light of day on my account, but I did pull for him. And then as we hit into the next row, we got a few epics right in a row. And I don't believe I pulled for any of these, but I think they're mostly decent events. I would probably star all of these. You know, Inquisitor is a great introduction champion to cranking out some damage, and the Hydra can even be pretty cool in certain Doom Tower teams to focus down a certain champion, and can do a lot of damage for an epic in different situations in the game. Rector is one of the best progression epics as well that you can get guaranteed for 4. It's kind of similar to that Cold Heart event where you're hoping for a legendary or something, but it's at least kind of a side prize to get one of the better champions of that rarity. And then Godseeker for 25 is really good. So I even though I didn't pull for any of these events because I didn't need them, I either had them or they wouldn't fill a role for me, I'm okay with them as events for the player base, and I think they're mostly fair. Then for Wither, I did pull for her, and I don't regret it. Wither is just such a great healer, such a great support, that I'm happy I have her on my account. I know she was seeing a lot of play in Platinum Arena when she first came out, and in some of those defensive teams that want to be super sturdy. Wither is awesome, so I did go for her, and in hindsight, I don't regret it. Now, I didn't pull for this one right here. I don't think it's a great event. I did pull for Archbishop, who falls into the Helior camp of I really thought he was going to be an awesome champion. I still need to do some, I still need to get like a champion guide out for him on the channel. So, you know, all in all, I'm going to put it in the regret. I like to, I don't like to fence it. I like to be tough on myself and make myself make decisions. So if I had to pick, I'd say regret on him. Even, I did go for him and ended up not really using him. Same for Kyoku, even though she's great and she would get a lot of use on a lot of accounts. For me personally, saying if I regret it or not, it's the same as Helior again. It's a sacred event that I thought I would use a lot more than I ended up doing. The way that her kit functions is a little bit weird in how it synergizes, so I just ended up not using her as much as I thought. Riho, I did not go for, but is a pretty solid event, so I'm gonna give this a star instead of a neutral line. Riho is like just a really generally useful void legendary that makes sense on a lot of accounts, and getting her for a guarantee while you're pulling 90 voids I think is fair. It's probably better than the Turvold event down here. Even though Turvold is great as like a clan boss DPS, I feel like there's a lot of people that can kind of slot into that role. Rathmatab, I'm gonna go neutral. I didn't pull for him, so I can't really grade that. Let me start the next clan boss team here. Okay, there we go. But yeah, Rathmatab, yeah, I didn't go for him. It was like Genzin and only being 120, but I'm just gonna put a slash on it. I don't think it was some amazing event, but I also didn't go for him. Sishia, I did go for, and I'm happy with it. It was 12 instead of 15, so it was a little bit cheaper. She's one of the best champions in the game for some of those end game spider compositions, and she can also be great places like the Hydra and be a good damage dealer. Can be good in the Iron Twins and different tournaments for like Demon Spawn teams. I just used her for like Fire Knight runs and stuff, so I don't regret going for Sishia in hindsight. I think that was great. And then we get down to the more recent ones here on the last row. Kianderfon is my most empowered champion at +3, so I'm gonna go, and I got a little bit crazy there on that one, so let's back it up. Let's keep things uniform here. There we go. Okay, so I went for Kianderfon, and obviously I don't regret it. He's one of the best damage dealers in the game. Great to have on your account. For me, I was going for an empowerment level, and I don't regret it, just because I do get a lot of use out of Kianderfon. Now, Ragash is one that I'm on the fence on. I did go for him. I ended up not using him as much as I thought I would, but he's a really good champion. I like him a lot, and you know, going through this and looking at it, he's probably somebody I want to take another look at to see if I can squeeze him in somewhere, like, you know, Hydra Team 2 or Team 3 or some sort of composition to get value out of him. So I'm not going to put him in the regret category because I do really like him as a champion. I'm glad I have him at my disposal. Same thing with Nekbathar. Nekbathar, I definitely don't regret. This guy is incredible. He's great in the Hydra, great in so many different areas of the game, made my Lizardman team a lot better. He was worth it as an event, in my opinion, and I wonder if they're gonna use that as a barometer for the next sacred event, like we'll get someone equal to or better than Nekbathar. Turvold, I did not go for, and I think 80 is a little bit too much for Turvold. I think this should have been like, you know, they had 90 for Riho. They did bump it down. I would have maybe gone like 70 for Turvald, and then I would give this a star, maybe. But yeah, I'm going to go neutral. I didn't go for him, and I don't regret making that decision. And then these next couple I did not go for, and I don't regret it. We kind of hit a stretch. You know, Joffred should have probably been in that 120 category with Roth, Matab, and Genzin, but he was 140, so I don't regret it. And same with Fortis. Fortis, a new Void Legendary, but 80 is a little bit too much. I think he could use a little bit of rebalancing. People are a little bit underwhelmed with Fortis as of right now. Now, Dwayne I did not go for, but I'm going to star this because I like this event. Same with White Dryad. I like that. I like those two champions. They're really cool, and they're also for a new faction that you're going to want to have for your capabilities of diving into their crypt when it releases. So I did not go for either one specifically, but I'm cool with them as events. And then Stultus, to be determined. I did just pull for him. I'm going to give it a check mark. I don't really regret it. I haven't had a whole lot of opportunity to get hindsight, though, of a couple months or anything. So to be determined on that one, and I'm looking forward to getting a video out about him this week. I'm going to build him during CVC, do a lot of testing, and then see where I can slot him in, and then I'll have a little bit more information on that. But I did like the event for Stultus. So boom, there we go. That is all of the guaranteed events that Plarium has done for champions. Let me know down below which ones you pulled for, which ones you wish you would have, which ones you regret. It's always a lot of fun for me to read through and hear the different perspectives within the community as well. So I will also put this graphic down below if you would like to pull up and have for your records the summoning history of these guaranteed events. But yeah, remember to subscribe on your way out if you enjoy daily Raid Shadow Legends content, and I'll see you soon in the next video. Thanks for watching. Peace.